Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And oh man, what a big day. President Trump and Alina Habba both came out and had epic press conferences today. I'm going to play both of them to you, and I'm going to also give you some analysis. And if you're watching live, feel free to call me live on the stream. If you're watching live, you can call me live. The toll-free number is pinned to the top of the chat. Okay, well, President Trump is pissed off, and he's got every reason under the sun to be pissed off. This lawfare has gotten completely out of control. Here you got a man who has done absolutely nothing wrong. He didn't pay Michael Cohen hush money payments for Stormy Daniels. I'm going to play you this, but before I do, I want to give you my theory as to what happened with Michael Cohen, the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, and Stormy Daniels. Now, it was reported a few weeks ago. Hold on, I got to turn down Alexa over here who wants to talk. Okay. Yes. All right, we turned her down. Hey there, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Gary. I'm sorry about that this morning.
Okay, not a problem. What's on your mind?
I'm a big fan of Donald Trump.
Well, so am I.
Okay. I'm sorry
All right.
about that this morning.
That's okay. No
Right.
problem. All right. Thanks for the call. All right. Take care. So, hold on. Let me get started before I take calls. I'll open up the phones in a few minutes. This is what I think happened between Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen, and Donald Trump. And then we'll get to the epic, just epic takedown of the judge and the whole proceeding that Donald Trump just did. It was reported a few weeks back that Michael Cohen himself had an affair with Stormy Daniels. And this was reported, I don't know, about a month ago. And I talked about it here on the program. And what I think happened with that is I think Stormy Daniels did a shakedown of Michael Cohen. And she wanted money from Michael Cohen. Now, Michael Cohen's not a rich man, maybe a rich man by a lot of regular people like you and me and our standards, but not by Trump standards. And Michael Cohen did, in fact, pay Stormy Daniels with money from his home equity account. And this is my cat, Luna, who's coming to join the stream. Say hello to everyone, Luna. Say hello. Yes. She's grown up. Those of you that have watched the stream for a while, she's gotten big, hasn't she? Yes. Luna loves YouTube, and she loves President Trump. That's right. So he paid Stormy Daniels from his home equity line, and as an excuse to his wife for paying this money out of their home equity, by the way, Michael Cohen's wife is from Ukraine. She's Ukrainian. He said it was for Trump. He put through, and I talked about this weeks ago when this story came out, that Michael Cohen is the one who had the affair with Stormy Daniels. And then he put through his billing and expense billing to Donald Trump, and he paid him. That's it. And he didn't have written down there, hush money payment for Stormy Daniels. It was just in there with his expenses unlabeled, and Donald Trump paid his bill to his lawyer, sleazy Michael Cohen. And everybody understands this. This is exactly what happened. This is no secret, but they're charging him because they hate Trump. He's very popular. He is more popular now than he ever has been, and they're in a complete panic. So that the lawfare takes place. So President Trump came out of the courtroom today, and he's got two cases in this same courthouse today. He's got this crooked judge in this Stormy Daniels case and the Letitia James case. That's still going on. That's why we're going to hear from Alina Habba in just a bit. So President Trump came out and gave an 8-minute speech here to the press. Let's watch.
Thank you.
And they call it a legal expense. That's the exact term they use, legal expense, in the books. And another thing that wasn't even said was we never even deducted it as a tax deduction. So that takes a whole of answer. Most people want to deduct everything. We never even took it as a tax deduction. But they call the payment to a lawyer a legal expense. in the books. They didn't call it construction. They didn't say you're building a building. It called a payment to a lawyer because, as you know, Cohen is a lawyer. Represented a lot of people over the years. Now, I'm not the only one. And wasn't very good in a lot of ways in terms of his representation. But he represented a lot of people. But he puts in an invoice or whatever, a bill, and they pay it, they call it a legal expense. I got indicted for that. What else would you call it? Actually, nobody's been able to say what you're supposed to call it. If a lawyer puts in a bill or an invoice, and you pay the bill, and in the book, it's a little line. That's a very small little line. I don't know if you can even write more than 2 words. It's not like you could tell a life story. They marked it down to a legal expense. This is what I got indicted over.
Okay, so you get this. Now we'll play the rest. But this is amazing. By the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. You'll love my content, I promise you. Now, he said that Michael Cohen sent him a bill, and it just said legal expense, and he paid it. Legal expense, and he paid it. It didn't say hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. It said legal expense, and he paid it. That's it. Michael Cohen buried it in his billing to get the money back, to explain it to his wife. That's it. Case closed. And you know what? They all know this, but they don't care because they hate Trump. It's lawfare.
Think of it. I got indicted. I'm the leading candidate. I'm beating Biden. I'm beating the Republicans now. I have the nomination. And this is what they try and take me off the trail for. That check's being paid to a lawyer. He is a lawyer, or was a lawyer. And also the things he got in trouble for were things that had nothing to do with me. He got in trouble, he went to jail. This had nothing to do with me. This had to do with the taxi cab company that he owned, which is just something he owned, and medallions and borrowing money and a lot of things, but it had nothing to do with me. He represented a lot of people over the years. But they take this payment and they call it a legal expense, and you heard it today for the first time. This is what I got indicted over. This is what took me off and takes me off the campaign trail, because I should be in Georgia now. I should be in Florida now. I should be in a lot of different places right now campaigning, and I'm sitting here.
Yeah. Okay, so this is amazing. So they have the opening arguments. He comes out, and President Trump obviously is violating the gag order, right? I mean, this is a complete violation of the gag order, and I'm so glad he's chosen to do that because we need to know what's going on in there. The only information other than President Trump we get from the courtroom are from these fake news, Trump-hating, Trump derangement-suffering journalists who all they talk about is he's asleep when we know he's not. Look at this guy. He's so full of energy. He is a superman. So he says they laid it out in the prosecution in the opening argument. It was labeled legal expense. So he paid it. His lawyer sent him a bill, legal expense, boom, he paid it. Didn't say hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. Nothing about that. Just legal services. And he paid it. How? The one that did the crime there is Michael Cohen, who put in fraudulent billing, not Donald Trump.
And this will go on for a long time. It's very unfair. The judge is conflicted, as you know. It's very unfair what's going on. And I should be allowed to campaign.
That's right.
And whoever heard of this, he got indicted for that?
Yeah.
People in the court just said to me, I can't believe it. This is the case. So we did nothing wrong. The other thing is, if this were such a great case, why didn't the Southern District bring it? Who looked at it, turned it down? Why didn't...
Yeah, and what he's talking about there, the Southern District, the Justice Department turned this case down. They said there was nothing there. And it's a federal case, not a local case, even though it's in a local state court in New York.
Numerous other agencies and law enforcement groups look at it because it was shown to everybody. And very importantly, why didn't the federal elections do anything about it? Because this is federal, it's not state. They're trying to make it a state case, whatever. And it's not state, it has nothing to do. It's never happened before, I believe. Never happened before. This has never happened before, where the state tries to insert itself in federal elections. Nobody's ever seen it. But you know, federal elections took a total pass on it. They said essentially nothing was done wrong, or they would have done something about it. they're tough. They would have done something about it. But they said nothing, and they said, we're going to take a pass. Because they couldn't even believe it. Actually, if you read their...
Yeah, this is just astounding. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey, this is Joan from Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan, this is amazing. So he gets a bill from Michael Cohen. It says legal expenses. So he pays his legal expenses. Didn't say hush money payment to store. Just vague. They got him on charges on this. This is insanity. What?
Brian, I don't think he paid the bill. A man like that with the corporation that he has, an invoice was sent into their accounting area. They opened up the envelope with the bill, and they wrote the check and sent it out.
Yeah.
He didn't write a check
and have
for
like
that.
An electronic pen with his signature or something.
Right. You know that man doesn't sit down with a checkbook and pay business expenses. Give me a break.
No, you make a good point. That's amazing. How is this even in court?
It's beyond I can't fathom it. It's just beyond, it's mind-boggling.
Isn't it?
That man does not pay his business expenses. He does not sit down with the paper bill at a checkbook.
No way.
No, we have an entire accounting department, I'm sure.
He's a billionaire, a multi-billionaire with an international company, right? How is he paying these nickel and dime things? It goes through his billing department. You're right, yeah. Like any company.
Yeah. He didn't write the check.
Oh. That's a beautiful thing.
Anyway,
Well, no, I gotta tell you, before you go, I gotta tell you, you're smarter than all these legal analysts on television, because I haven't heard any of these jokers say that, what you just said. That you're spot on the money. You're brilliant. Yeah, you're better than Turley and all the rest. Dershowitz hasn't even come up with that one. You're right.
Why? I do invoicing and stuff for my job, and I don't pay the act. It goes to the accounting department, and somebody in accounting sends out the check.
There you go. Yeah. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate the call because you've added something new to the story. All right, take care. Yeah, if you're watching live, you're welcome to call in. The toll-free number is pinned to the top of the chat. So we'll go back to this, and then we'll get to Alina Habba, who just went off at the courthouse today. It was beautiful. So President Trump came out of the courtroom after these prosecutors' opening remarks and addressed the media, and we're in the middle of that right now. What a great point that caller made. Yeah, absolutely. So somebody in his bookkeeping department perhaps should be charged with something.
Their letter, they couldn't even believe it. They were incredulous. And yet, Bragg picks it up. Now, with Bragg, if you look, when he first came in, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. Now, when are they going to look at Pomerantz and what Pomerantz did? Because that's bad stuff. And when are they going to look at all the lies that Cohen did in the last trial? He got caught lying in the last trial. So he got caught lying, pure lying. And when are they going to look at that? Now we'll go to another subject, because just a few blocks away, as you know, they had a trial on the $175 million. That's Letitia James. It's all coming out of the White House, by the way.
Absolutely.
And that's in front of Judge Engoron. And the judge really didn't know anything. He didn't know about collateral security. He said, supposing it goes down. Well, it doesn't go down because it's cash. I put up $175 million in cash, and we have a bonding company do it. And he challenged the bonding company that maybe the bonding company was no good. Well,
my cat
they're good.
knocked the light down.
They also have $175 million of collateral, my collateral. But the judge didn't know anything about it. He didn't know what the $175 million cash meant. He had no idea what anything.
Hold on,
meant.
caller. Hold on. My cat Luna has messed up everything here. Hold on.
And he charged me hundreds of millions of dollars on something where I'm totally innocent.
Okay, sorry about that. Luna, my cat Luna, she just jumped on the monitor of the computer, grabbed the light, moved the camera, and stood on the keys here and changed things up a little bit. We'll get back to that in just a minute. Hey, hey, I love it. She's a cute cat. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's PJ.
Hey, PJ. Sorry, my cat's gotten involved here.
Yeah, my kids are cat. I'm a little alert. No, hey, listen, you're absolutely right. You know, I really didn't think about it until you talked about it this morning, especially when I was watching this press conference. The acoustics in that courthouse are actually absolutely horrible.
Yeah, by the way, PJ, you did a YouTube video this morning on me, about me, which I appreciate. Thank you. And do you want to give your YouTube channel a plug?
Yeah, dummy funnies.
Dummy
by the
funnies
way,
on YouTube,
I prefer everybody watch it on Rumble because there's a lot of videos I don't even bother putting on YouTube because I know ahead of time they're going to censor it. So
Okay.
Anybody wants to see the dummy funnies, forget YouTube. Go to Rumble. But anyway, yeah, you are absolutely right. The acoustics really are really. I mean, I didn't think about it much, and in watching this, it's like an echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as having the cat jump on the computer screen like I'm having. But I like the idea of him having a proper press conference every afternoon at Trump Tower at the end of the day. I think that would be very, very good.
Whoa, don't scrape that in the trash.
Yeah,
That's
so
not cool.
so it's interesting to me that I thought they'd hide him. That was the thing that surprised me the most. I thought they would hide the guy from the Justice Department, from the Biden weaponized DOJ. I thought they would sort of hide him, but he was like the lead prosecutor today, that Colangelo.
Yeah. Well, you know, when they're doing wrong, I guess they figure if it's in their face, it won't look like it's wrong. But, you know, the caller I had, if you heard the nice lady that called me a few minutes ago, you know, she made a good point. She said Trump didn't write that check. Somebody from bookkeeping did. Right? He does it. He's out personally going through the little bills that he gets from everyone.
Well, I mean, no. This case would have been, first of all, under normal conditions, this case wouldn't even be on trial. But the problem is we got a complete kangaroo court here. So I'm just hoping that when the trial is over, it moves very quickly on appeal. I don't know how. You know, I don't know how. Well, they're probably corrupt too. But even though that the New York appeals courts are probably sort of hate Trump. Maybe this is so ridiculous they'll toss it, but if they don't, I'm hoping it'll go extremely quickly to the Supreme Court, just because this whole thing is election interference. So I hope it goes quickly.
You know, I'll tell you, this is, you know, the opening argument, because this is what Trump's talking about. He says he got a bill from Michael Cohen that said legal expenses. That's all it said, legal expenses. It didn't say hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. It just said legal expenses, so they paid it. And that's the first time I think we've really heard that, at least officially. And even this liberal jury, it would seem to me they'd have a hard time convicting on that kind of evidence. What do you think?
Well, knowing how these liberals are, these TDS liberals are,
yeah,
you know, I'm just hoping that there's one semi-sane person to have a hung jury.
Yeah. Hung jury. I mean, you know, during OJ, I hate to compare President Trump to the OJ trial, but the OJ trial was high profile and he just died and everything. But during OJ, everybody was predicting, even his dream team, hung jury, and they came back with an acquittal. So we're all talking that way now, that the best we can hope for is a hung jury. But the evidence is they have some pretty weak allegations here. They really are.
Yeah.
So even maybe,
it's just
I mean,
bad,
if they came,
you know,
if they come back with an acquittal or a hung jury, and it's like majority not guilty, right? It's a 12-person jury. So let's say it comes back. You know, we think hung, we think 11 guilty and 1 not guilty. What if it's 10? You know, 10 or 11 not guilty and 1 or 2 guilty, right? And it's hung that way. No one's even thinking that way. This evidence is pretty flimsy. I think Trump's got a much better chance now that the opening arguments have happened than he did yesterday.
Yeah, just too bad that the trials up there in New York aren't televised, because then people would be able to see how pathetic this trial is.
It should be televised, though. This trial, the American people really should see this. Yeah. Well, you know, as I was saying this morning, they don't want us to see it because the case is so weak, and Trump is getting vindicated. They don't want you to see that.
Yeah. But
well, I'll see you Saturday on the cruise ship. This time next Monday, we're going to be out in the ocean on the cruise ship.
Yeah, you could find me. You could find me immediately in the. I guarantee you at the Ocean View Cafe buffet.
Oh, the buffet? Okay. I don't spend much time in the buffets. I usually go and have my meals in the restaurant. You know, you can have breakfast and lunch in the restaurants too, you know. It's included.
Yeah, I sort of noticed you're not really that big of an eater. You know, like I'm like just the opposite. I gorge on the food. I can't help it.
Yeah, I don't eat that much on the cruise. I'm not a big eater. Hey, listen, PJ, I'll see you Saturday on the cruise, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, see you
All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with you about the possibility of a hung jury, 10 yeses and 2 no's.
10 or 11 not guilties. 1 or 2 guilties. Yeah. They're not. No one's thinking about it being hung that way.
Right, and it's basically the same thing. But again, this case should never have been brought.
And you can see by the opening arguments today. I mean, this case is weaker than I thought, and I didn't think there was a case.
And remember, originally Bragg didn't want to bring it. It took them sending Colangelo down and getting in his office to make him bring it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
and that's the direct evidence that the White House is involved.
Yeah, I mean, in all these cases, in all these kangaroo cases, they shouldn't have been brought.
Yeah,
you know, but that's the thing. Here's one other thing.
Eric in Barcelona, Spain, watching. Hey, Eric Wilcox watching us in Barcelona, Spain. Give a shout out.
Here's one other thing. When you've got the creepy porn lawyer Avenatti that's going to testify against you, I mean, that should say something. He's going to testify against Cohen. You know?
He's a character witness for Stormy Daniels. Hey, Mike, thanks for the call, man. Yeah, if you're watching live, you're welcome to call in. And those of you watching live, the toll-free number to call in is pinned to the top of the chat. All right, let's get back to the greatest president ever.
He had no idea what anything meant, and he had no idea what he did in the trial. And he charged me hundreds of millions of dollars on something where I'm totally innocent. But if you look at what happened today, Judge Engoron should not have done that trial. It should have gone to the business division where they have complex business trials. But actually, it should have never been brought because I didn't overestimate. You know, they say I overestimated. If you look at the numbers, they're underestimated. I underestimated. I did the opposite of what they said.
He's talking about the property valuation of Mar-a-Lago, right up the street from my house.
And the reason that they tried to, and they did it for their own narrative, they valued $1 billion asset at $18 million. They valued other assets in order to build their narrative. They want to build a narrative. But if you look, and I have a complete record of what happened, Judge Engoron had no idea what was going on, didn't understand the most simple concepts. And this is the man that took a case, and this is why businesses, they're moving out of New York because they can't be subject to this. They'd be put out of business. They're moving out of New York because of it. But Judge Engoron had absolutely no idea what had happened. He didn't realize we put up 175, but when he found out we put it up, he said, what happens if it goes up or down? I said, it doesn't, or they said, it doesn't go up or down. It's cash that we put up, all cash. Very few people could do that. And the deal was approved with the Attorney General. You can believe that.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. Now, somebody in the chat, Brody just said, I hope the Supreme Court comes through soon. Now, you know, the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court comes in and rules as we expect them to, you could tell by the questioning during that Supreme Court hearing, and presidential immunity is applied, and this case in New York, according to the Supreme Court, the highest court in the greatest land, the United States, do you think that this judge in New York is going to say, oh, yeah, the Supreme Court just ruled presidential immunity, we have no case, and they drop the case and just stop the trial? I don't know how they would do that. Would it be a mistrial? Do you think the judge would do that? Hell no, this judge wouldn't do that. Because this judge is corrupt. His family's already taken the money. He's got to follow through. It's like the Bidens. They already took the money from China. Now the balloons are flying over. They can't stop the Chinese balloons. Right? So I think it's an interesting thing, and I haven't heard any of these legal pundits and cable news talk about what this judge's reaction would be if the Supreme Court rules, if that ruling comes out that President Trump has immunity as a president. I think that would be a good question, and I don't see this judge ending this trial just because a little tiny Supreme Court says that he has immunity. Do you? Absolutely not. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean, what's up?
Well, despite everything that's happening to our greatest president, I mean, he's only, down 10 from Biden in New York? And when that
in New York, by the way, in New York, he should be. Usually the Democrats about 30 ahead in New York.
Exactly. Yeah, and despite everything that's happening, I mean, this is just, I was watching, and it's showing something incredible here. I mean, and we're seeing everybody starting to wake up, even in that state, in that city, and this precedent that's being set by the liberals, the corrupt socialists, whatever you want to call them. They're not American, and
that's for sure.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, I think that going forward, though, they really have to look at the long-term ramifications of everything.
Well, what do you think would happen? The Supreme Court says Trump has presidential immunity. These cases are no good. Do you think this judge would stop this trial or continue it?
Oh, they're fanatical. Nothing's ever stopped them before.
He won't stop. So what would happen? This was amazing, and I hope the Supreme Court comes. I agree. I think they're fanatics. Plus, they've already taken the money, right? So the judge isn't going to stop the trial, but Trump and his team would stop showing up at that point. They'd say, "We're not." The Supreme Court said, "I have immunity. We're not showing up." So what would the judge do then? Would he issue an arrest warrant?
Oh, that's the last thing you should do.
No, I'm serious.
Just set it all up.
I'm serious.
I know.
I mean, we're getting into some really big stuff here.
It's just unbelievable it has to go this far. I mean, because a president, and like you said before, they keep calling the former president. They don't say that about any others. It's President Trump, and absolutely.
I never hear them say former President Obama or former President Clinton.
I'm tired of them doing that. It's really disgusting.
The only time they don't say former president is history has been made. The first president is on criminal trial. They drop former when they talk about him being in a criminal trial. But
no one generally talk about him. Yeah,
and former is a big tell for a lot of fake MAGA. Anytime you hear some MAGA person say the former president, they're not MAGA, they're fake MAGA. MAGA would never say the former president.
Absolutely.
I mean, first off, in my entire life, I've never said former president to any of them. It's always President Reagan, President Carter, President Ford, President Nixon. I've never used former president.
Right. I mean, these people are just so full of hate. They're so full of resentment, and they just cannot believe that somebody who the first ever not ever groomed and by the establishment or not prepped up or in a family or grandfathered in is actually able to do all of this. I mean, he can still do all the rallies. I think a caller told you this morning that even if he's bogged down, he can have weekends to do all of these rallies. He can get it all done. They're just trying to interfere with
here's the thing. Do you know that I think it's Monday? The court is in session Monday, Tuesdays, off Wednesdays, Thursday, and Friday. And remember, we were talking last week. This corrupt judge won't let Trump off to go see Barron's high school graduation here in Florida, right? Remember that? Crazy. One of the alternate jurors, one of the alternates has a dental appointment on Monday. The judge, no court on Monday, so the alternate juror can go to the dental appointment. But Trump can't go to Barron's high school graduation. But an alternate juror they close down the whole thing so they can go to the dentist. I'm not kidding.
Absolutely.
I just saw that story right before the stream.
Absolutely. I don't know if you. It's just absolutely everything is going haywire. Now, I'm not sure if this is true. I just have to get off. But I heard. I heard this. Maybe you heard this too. That Laken Riley's killer got released. Is that happening? Did that happen?
There's no way. There's no way. I have not heard that. There's no way in hell. No way.
Okay, because I heard that somewhere, but I wasn't sure. I'm not going to believe
I think you might have heard half a story. Maybe they had him when he got here illegally, and they released him from the illegal detention, and then he went on to kill her. But no, they didn't. No, come on. Even I know they'd like to. They'd probably like to let him out. But they,
he's a newcomer, of course.
Yeah, but they can't.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you were talking about the cruise. I think Dr. Steve Turley is copying you because he's
really.
got a
Why do you say
thing
that?
He's doing now.
Oh, really?
He was advertising on one of his videos.
It won't be as much fun as ours.
Oh, I know. I gotta get that. That sounds like a blast.
It is, and I'm gonna do as much YouTube live streaming as I can on the cruise. We have the Elon Musk Starlink internet, which is really good. We had it last time.
Starlink. Oh, good.
Yeah. So
You'll take care of that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do some live streams through that.
I think you'll be able to because I've seen some people on YouTube been actually using that when they're traveling, and they were just using Starlink for their videos and stuff, and they were set up shop wherever they were, and it seemed to work just fine. I mean, Elon Musk is brilliant. I think Elon Musk also, just like Trump, thinks way ahead because if they try and shut anything down, Starlink is functional, and they can't control that.
Yeah, of course, the amazing story of Elon Musk, he is the wealthiest, the richest African American.
That's
right, he is. All right, take care. He's true. He's the richest African American in history.
Well, I mean, of all time, probably, of any person.
All time, yeah. And maybe for the rest of time, as rich as he is. Hey, man, thanks for the call. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. A great way to support my channel and all my content is, of course, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Huge sales going on. The $25 spring sale extravaganza with my promo code Kane is going on right now. And it's free shipping on orders over $75. But you can use my promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at mypillow.com on any of the specials. The 6-piece MyPillow towel sets, 50% off. These towels are amazing. My wife and I have these towels. And Mike Lindell says, towels that actually work. What a concept. Boy, that is not just something he says. It is so true. A couple months ago, I was getting ready to do the live stream here, and I had a big cup of coffee. And I was walking into the studio, and I bumped up against the door frame, and I dropped the coffee, and it went all over my floor in the hallway. Luckily, I have tile floors, but I had this whole cup of coffee, like a 16-ounce cup of coffee. There's a bathroom in there, right, a guest bathroom. I reached in the guest bathroom, grabbed a towel. It was the white MyPillow towel, and I dropped it on the coffee. It absorbed all of it, and I picked up the towel, and it 16 ounces it was holding. It wasn't even dripping. I walked it completely across the house to the laundry room, which is in our garage. Not one drop. It absorbed the whole thing, and it was tan because it was coffee with cream. I washed it. I dried it. It all came out. It's absolutely amazing. So the MyPillow towels, 50% off. But again, you can use my promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout on all the specials at mypillow.com, not just the ones I talk about. And you can see there's so many, 50% off the coffee, the MyPillow 2.0s, which I have, buy one, get one free. There's even socks now. So, so many things. And every time you use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, 50% off the mattress toppers. Anytime you use my promo code Kane, you are most definitely supporting all of my content and my show. So promo code Kane, Kane, at mypillow.com. Okay, so, oh boy, hold on. I got an update on this story. Okay, the last caller about Laken Riley, my wife just texted me. Hold on, let me pull this up. And then we'll get to Alina Habba. Okay, I am seeing this for the first time. The guy that just called up about Laken Riley's killer, this is the story that he heard, and my wife just sent this to me. Josh Hawley alleges Mayorkas illegally paroled Laken Riley's killer and accuses him of lying about it. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley alleged that Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who should be on trial right now in an impeachment trial, but, released Laken Riley's killer. He says that Mayorkas released Laken Riley's killer, citing that there was no space to hold him. Oh, my goodness. And then he lied about it. So Mayorkas he's responsible for Laken Riley's brutal murder. And, he's such a sicko. I don't even think he is concerned about it. I don't even think he sweats it. He doesn't care. If he did his job, Laken Riley, we never would have heard of her. She'd be alive and would have gone on to have a beautiful life and a family and kids and a husband and everything else. But no, the newcomers' lives are more important. That's pretty sad. So I think that my wife just texted me that story. So thanks, Kathy. And that's what the caller that called a moment ago had heard. All right. So Alina Habba. So President Trump just did this epic moment, which was beautiful, that I played at the beginning of the stream. And then Alina Habba came out and she went off. Oh, boy. Watch this.
Good afternoon.
She's pissed. Oh, and then at the end of this, there's a hot mic moment where you hear the demonic fake news reporters laughing at her after she's gone.
Court in the civil division with the other witch hunt with Miss James to come here and see our client. The fact that we have two courts, not one, criminal and civil, being used against one man because they cannot beat him in the polls is a disgrace to the American judicial system. He should not have two teams of lawyers here today. He should not even be here today.
That's
because
right.
He did nothing wrong. It is the epitome of a witch hunt. I just left where a judge asked us whether our cash bond, sitting in. Miss James wanted to argue and say that our cash somehow isn't green enough. We wasted time. The judge made a comment saying he thought that money market accounts could go down under the amount. He doesn't even understand basic principles of finance.
No, he's an
idiot.
idiot.
This was the man that decided that we owed money and my client committed fraud. We are going to attack every single one. 1 hour, the Attorney General and that judge realized quickly that they had no idea what they were talking about. We came to an agreement that everything would be the same, we would modify terms, and that was it. This is where your taxpayer dollars are going, America. Right here. Witch hunt after witch hunt. President Trump's company was worth more in that case than it is now. And now what? We're here because of something that happened when he was in the White House that wasn't even wrong. It was not wrong. You hire lawyers to solve problems, lawyers solve those problems, you pay them. That's it. This is a joke. It's an affront to the American Constitution. It's an affront to our judicial system. And it's an affront to every lawyer that cares about their license, that cares about what is right and wrong. I am sick of coming in front of the press and saying this, but you have to because you people need to understand what is going on. God forbid you put an accounting thing in for legal counsel. It's legal counsel. And now our taxpayer dollars, my time, our attorney's fees, are all here because they're afraid of 2024. And you know what? They should be, because the American people are not stupid. They see what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, now there she does the mic drop. Now, boy, she's on fire, and she's right. Isn't she awesome? Oh, man. So she walks away. A reporter barks a question at her. She ignores it. And then the hot mic catches these demonic, never-Trumper, Trump derangement syndrome suffering reporters with their evil laughing. Listen. Don't you like that look? She's like, F off. She's like, she's not interested. That's like, go screw yourself. Isn't that what she's saying there? Go screw yourself. That's what it looks like to me.
They see what's going on. Thank you.
Now listen. Now listen, here comes the laugh. Hear the laugh? The evil laugh? Did you hear it? Let's go back. The evil laugh, listen. It's like Vincent Price in the Thriller video. Hear him again? And what they're laughing at is they've got Trump in court. These are some sick freaking people. I mean, it's sicker than imaginable. Oh, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, my latest podcast will drop right here on YouTube. My wife and I, our podcast, the Brian Craig Show podcast, great podcast for you. You will not want to miss it. And it'll go live at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on YouTube. And it's a live premiere. So right after this stream, I'm going to set up the live premiere. There will be a live chat from the point that I make it live all the way through the podcast itself. So you can join the community and get involved in the chat during the show. But the show will be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so I don't know what this is about. Elvis Costello apparently is covered. Oh, no, that's Rachel Maddow. I thought it was Elvis Costello for a second. Oh, well. Rachel Maddow's covering the trial for MSNBC. Hold on.
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
You got to listen to the commercial first. Hold on. I'm trying to mute the commercial. Hold on. I guess I didn't like my Elvis Costello joke.
Do you ever wonder?
Okay, hold on. I'll wait for the commercial to play through, and then I'll share with you Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, her coverage of the opening arguments, and her description is a little different than what we heard from the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. And, you know, this trial here, oh, man, you know, these two ladies hate high-definition 4K television. Oh, my goodness. But, you know, they do televise trials in New York all the time. And this one, they're not. And the reason they're not is they know it makes Trump look good. If it made him look bad, they'd be televising it. And they want us to get our news and information of what's going on in the courtroom from all these Trump haters like Rachel Maddow in the fake news media. So Rachel Maddow here, let's hear her reporting.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And thanks to everybody at NBC who made it possible for me to get in the courtroom today. I realize this is a hot ticket, and it's a privilege to be able to cover something this historic. I mean, I will say, just in terms of the vibe in the room, what you have heard about it being kind of a dingy courtroom is real, and that is not necessarily important in terms of the way the wheels of justice grind, but it is striking to see the former president.
Oh, the former president. Oh, my goodness. They love to say that, don't they?
Somebody who's tried to sort of embody the kind of luxury brand, sitting in a room that essentially feels like a high-ceilinged DM.
You know, this is so bizarre. This woman, Rachel Maddow, is so sick and twisted that she's relishing this idea that this dingy, worn-out courtroom isn't up to the level of luxury that President Trump is accustomed to, and that he's suffering because he's not in the lap of luxury in the courtroom. These people are really, they're looking for anything they can grab onto to give them some satisfaction from that Trump derangement syndrome.
Justice grind, but it is striking to see the former president, somebody who's tried to sort of embody the kind of luxury brand, sitting in a room that essentially feels like a high-ceilinged DMV office. Lots and lots of police presence, a very tense atmosphere, a very sober atmosphere, but two very different styles of presentation from the prosecution and from the defense. The prosecution was reserved. The prosecutor, Matthew Colangelo, who made the opening statement,
the White House prosecutor,
prepared remarks, and it was a very cogent, very orderly, very reserved presentation. President Trump's defense was much more emotional. He appeared to be speaking sort of from talking points, and there was a lot of ad-libbing. There was then also not chaos, but a lot of kinetic activity when prosecutors started objecting to the opening statement. The judge called multiple times for the counsel to come and approach the bench and discuss those objections. Just two very different ways of presenting the case to the jury, both stylistically and in terms of the content. We got a real roadmap today as to how this case is going to go.
You didn't get anything from her. You didn't get anything from her. What is she doing in there other than satisfying her ego to be in the courtroom? I didn't hear anything of value from that. Did you? No, she didn't give us any information that was relevant. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, guys. So then this is CNN after that great press moment with President Trump that I shared with you. CNN had Jake Tapper on. And these people, CNN, MSNBC, they've been waiting for this for years. They got Trump in a criminal court. They're very excited. This is what they've wanted. The prosecutor, the Biden prosecutor, gets up and has no evidence, but they're loving every minute of it because he's in that criminal courtroom. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother Brian, IB.
Hey, IB, turn down the volume of whatever that is in the back.
Sorry about that. I'll have to call back. Sorry. Bye.
Oh, you have to call back. Okay, we'll call back then. Oh, man, I guess he's in a place where he doesn't control the volume, and he's got to get somewhere else where he controls the volume. So anyway, let's go over to CNN and hear how they responded to President Trump's incredible moment with the press that we started the stream with.
President Donald Trump, the defendant.
Oh, wait, did he say president or former president?
The former president, Donald Trump,
Yeah, they got it. They just got to say it that way, don't they?
All right, the former president, Donald Trump, the defendant in the case of the state of New York versus Donald J.
Oh, he's losing his hair. I haven't seen Tapper in a while. Look at that. Yeah, he's losing the hair.
Trump speaking there, going through a list of grievances having to do with this trial, really actually mainly having to do with the last trial, having to do with the business fraud trial that he has already been fined hundreds of millions of dollars for. Eli Honig, your response?
So first of all, we keep hearing this claim by Donald.
Oh, these people. Yes, you're on the air. Yes, IB. I can tell it's you. I hear the background.
Oh, my God, these people. You know, the fact that they keep saying, I'm glad you are kind of highlighting it lately, you know, this former thing when they started that. It so irritates me.
Yeah, me too.
That's just arrested development, juvenile, always trying to stick their finger in their nose about something about Trump. I mean, it's so childish. I cannot believe these are grown people. I just cannot believe they're grown people. And I don't even know what Rachel Maddow is even doing there. She basically said nothing.
Nothing. Less than nothing. She commented on the decor. She commented on the decor of the courtroom, but she gave no content about the arguments. Trump gave a very detailed description of the opening arguments.
Like we say, there has to be a lot of filler between now and the election and the inauguration. They have to fill that space, and just absolutely nothing that was said there. Like, why even have her on with that stupid old 1970s oath? She needs a wardrobe,
I know.
And a face redone and a hair redone.
You know who she kind of looks like? Have you ever seen Just One of the Guys, that 80s movie? She looks she looks like the girl in Just One of the Guys when she was trying to pass herself off as a guy. It's a good movie. You should see it.
Yeah, now I've heard of it.
Just One of the Guys.
Just One of the Guys, right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how she dresses.
So absurd, man.
Yeah, Elvis Costello.
Hey, the fact that, number one, even if he had sex with the woman,
he didn't.
What? Even if he got blackmailed by the woman, so what? How do they tie that in to campaign finance when he never gave her a check physically? He never knew the check was cut, and if January 6th was bigger than Pearl Harbor or 9/11, why isn't that case up front and center versus this?
Yeah,
always
exactly.
Back to the sex
exactly.
Act, always back to the playbook, the sex act. That's
they got
what
nothing.
They put us through over
well,
a year
when President, listen, when at the beginning of the stream, if you missed the beginning of the stream, go back and watch it. This is before my cat jumped on the monitor here.
I was watching in the beginning.
Okay, and but for those that haven't, go back and watch, because President Trump, they presented their evidence, the prosecution, in the opening argument. They have a bill from Michael Cohen that says legal expenses. It's that generic, and so Donald Trump, they paid it. It doesn't say hush money payment for Stormy Daniels. It said legal expenses. So I mean, where's the illegal act? It said legal expenses. Didn't say hush money payment to Stormy Daniels.
Hey, Democrats, if they did the PP tape, which they don't want to say what's in the tape, actually it's a piece of paper, and they put you through all of those arguments and you're with your friends and family and all those headaches, what does this mean? That he had sex with a person and gave the person money? How does that come into politics? What does one?
Well, he
have
didn't
to do
have
with
sex.
the other?
He did not have sex with that woman, Stormy Daniels. Hey, IB, thanks for the call. So let me get back to this. So this is CNN's analysis after President Trump's press conference. Jake Tapper, who he needs some Rogaine or something. Is Rogaine still a thing? He needs some help. He's losing his hair.
This fraud trial that he has already been fined hundreds of millions.
Now, this is an interesting thing. Listen to the tone and look at the mood of Jake Tapper. He seems defeated. Just like Dana Bash did on CNN. He looks defeated. Doesn't he? Things aren't going so well, I would assume. If the case was going well for them and they thought they were going to get a conviction, this guy would be grinning ear to ear. He sounds like he's depressed.
A trial that he has already been fined hundreds of millions of dollars for. Ellie Honig, your response?
So first of all, we keep hearing this claim by Donald Trump that this and all the prosecutions are somehow the product of Joe Biden's White House. We've said, and I'll say it again, that is absolutely false. And here it's demonstrably false. Here's why. Department of Justice is technically part of the federal executive branch, which falls under the president. No evidence Joe Biden's had anything to do with those indictments. But this case here was brought by the Manhattan District Attorney, independently elected by the people of Manhattan, not accountable to, not under the command of anyone, not even under the command of the governor.
Other than George Soros, who controls the entire Democrat Party. And, of course, they got the Justice Department lawyer making the opening argument. I tell you, this is Baghdad Bob all over again. I mean, and look at her. Does she look happy? She looks like she's in a bad mood too. Whoever this is on the panel, does it look like they feel like they're winning this case?
Governor of the state of New York, certainly not the president of the United States. So that is a patently false claim that Donald Trump continues to repeat over and over. The other thing that Donald Trump said, and this is why judges instruct juries, you are not to watch any news coverage of this. If you see it on TV, change the channel. If you see it don't go on social media. Because Donald Trump said a couple things that will never get in front of the jury. He said Alvin Bragg, the DA, did not originally want to bring this case. Not even clear if that's true at all, but that will never become part of the proper...
No, that is true. He didn't, and that's why they sent the Justice Department attorney there.
...evidence in this case. Similarly, Donald Trump did say correctly that the Southern District of New York...
See, look at them. They're all depressed. Look at this, whoever this woman is, this guy, Tapper, that other lady, they're all really ugh, they got their arms crossed. They're not happy. And on CNN, when they think they're winning, they're all giddy over there.
Passed on charging this case. That's true, but that's also wildly and completely inadmissible, won't get in front of the jury.
But is it not true that Alvin Bragg did refrain from bringing charges against Donald Trump, and then one of the deputies in his office wrote a book criticizing Bragg for not bringing the charges, and then Bragg did bring charges?
So the sequence was right. Alvin Bragg declined to bring charges based on the falsification of records relating to the value of apartments and value of property. So Alvin Bragg said, I'm not going to charge that criminally. Then Mark Pomerantz went public, said that was an outrage. Alvin Bragg should have charged the inflation case criminally. Alvin Bragg took a lot of backlash for that. At some point thereafter, Alvin Bragg returned this indictment on something else.
A different case. Yes. Okay, and the original one, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, did bring.
See, I mean, look at this. Look at this. This woman here's picking her nose. They're all depressed. Look all the hand. Look at the body language. Sad, hands clasped, arms crossed. This guy here. Do they look like they think they're winning? I don't think so. Now, don't forget, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, my latest podcast episode with my wife, Kathy, is going to drop right here on my YouTube channel. It's a great show, 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's a live premiere, so there'll be a live chat, just like this if you're watching the live stream. There'll be a live chat there as soon as I put up the live premiere, okay? Which, as soon as I'm done with this stream, I'm going to do that. But the show will go live at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's a really good podcast. You will not want to miss it. Now, and don't forget, guys, go to MyPillow.com. The spring sale extravaganza continues with my promo code Kane. Look at this. Buy one, get one free on the MyPillow 2.0. A lot of top items, $25, including the towels, the Giza Elegance pillows, 50% off the sheets, huge prices on the slippers, and you can use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, on everything site-wide at MyPillow.com. Promo code Kane, Kane. And remember, when you use my promo code Kane It's a great way for you to support my channel, my YouTube channel, the radio show, the podcast, and everything. Plus, the great Mike Lindell. Promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. My name's Brian. If you're new, subscribe. You'll love my channel, I promise you. If you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video, all right? I'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern on the podcast right here on YouTube, guys. Thanks for watching.